Good morning, students. Today's topic is spanning trees. So, in previous sessions, we have covered what is a graph and how we are traversing the graph using two different representations. So, two different algorithms, that is a DFS and BFS, and how we are representing a graph. We are representing by using adjacency list, adjacency matrix, and the extension of this adjacency list is adjacency multi-list consideration. So here in this topic, we will see the subsets of the graph notation, and we also specify the paths which are having the minimum data, that is a minimum cost here. Means since we are using a weighted graph representation. So now, while considering all these things, how we are going to get a subset graph here is with sub means a graph which has the all the vertices, but not all the edges here. It must cover minimum number of or the minimum possible edges to reach all the vertices. Then that tree or that graph notation will be specified as a spanning tree. Means it's a subset of a graph which we took as an example, and it doesn't consist of or that doesn't have any cycles here. Okay, cycles means it's not a it doesn't have a closed path representation. So here in this cycle representation, if we are having the closed paths in a tree, then it becomes a graph or a tree, but it's not a spanning tree representation. So we can have the spanning tree for the undirected graphs also, for the directed graphs also. But in the directed graphs, if there is no path, means if you took an example and there is no path to reach the vertex, means it won't be specified as a spanning tree. Means when we are using the directed path, when we are allowing to take the edges from vertices to reach, what it has to do, we need to plot all the vertices, and there should be a path lies from vertex to reach another vertex. So here there should be path. Means you have to design the edges like that. If we are not being consider the edges like that, what happens here is it won't be considered as a spanning tree, because if you are not having a edge to reach that vertex, what happens here, it allows you or it processes you to create a tree but not a spanning tree, because there will be isolated edges will be there. Okay, so to draw a spanning tree for a graph, it must be a connected graph. It must be a connected graph or an undirected graph. Means there should be an edges and then next the vertices which are connected to form a graph. If we are using disconnected graphs, means to isolated graphs and isolated node like that, what happens here is we won't draw these spanning tree representation for such graphs here. Coming to the properties of the spanning tree. So here we can have as many edges spanning trees. How many possibilities will be there to draw this spanning tree? Means all the possibilities will be used for draw the tree, and we won't consider any cycles here. And the spanning tree what we are using will have the same number of edges and the vertices. Why here the same number of vertices? Means if the graph is having the 5 vertices or the 4 vertices, what it specifies? each and every spanning tree will have the only that much of edges and that much of vertices only. So see here, we are using a graph. And I'm providing the edges to this one. Okay. So now see, what are the edges are used to provide a spanning tree. So here we can mark the edges. So we can use this edge, we can use this edge, and this one, and we can't use this one. Why means here it is providing a cycle like structure for processing, means loop not be taken. If you are taking this one, we need to avoid this edge, and here these are the values. So and here also we can take this value. So what happens here? It is forming a loop. How many edges are there? Count it. How many edges are there? There are 4 edges. And how many vertices should be there? It's a must like one. So we should consist of all the vertices here. How many vertices are there? There are 5 vertices. Okay. So here the vertices, the count is 5. The edges count will be vertices minus 1. Okay. If we want to draw another, means another spanning tree also we can draw. Here we need to avoid the cycles to be drawn. So here if you are taking this one or this one also, what happens here? We can't consider it as a spanning tree because this area and then this area will be taken as a closed one. That is a loops, that is a cycle has been formed. So here we need to try to avoid the loops that are forming here, and we need to try to use the as much of edges here, and then which are being used for connect to that vertices what we are representing. So that is a few, that are the few properties what we are having while drawing a spanning tree to the graph. And see the example representations here. In this is example representations what we have done. We need to consider all the vertices here and try to connect to that one. Try to connect to that one, you know, in such a way that if you are using an undirected graph, what it is doing, it is allowing to traverse in any way. And also what you have to do, not only the traversing, we need to visit each and every node. No need to consider all the edges here. So here if we are considering a spanning tree representation, we have the two such topics, that is a minimal connected and maximally acyclic. So here if we are removing one edge from that spanning tree, what happens here is the graph will be considered as a disconnected. So then the spanning tree what we are representing will be considered as a minimally connected one. For example, so this one is the one. So here try to minimize the edge here. What happens here? This one will become as a isolated. This node will become as a isolated, and the graph what we are using here is being specified as a disconnected one. That type of the tree representation is considered as a minimal connected graph. If not, if you want to try to add one edge to that one. So here, if I am adding the edge, any edge, it's not a edge to be drawn here or there like that. Just draw the edge which are previously we have. Means we have the edge from here to here, here to here, and also here to here, and from here. So try to mark an edge from here. What happens here if you are adding an edge? What it is doing? It is forming a circuit or loop. Means it's a closed one which is not being considered as a spanning tree. The spanning tree is a subset of the graph which it doesn't consist of, or it doesn't have any cycles. So it is not satisfying, or it is not the fulfilling the properties of the spanning tree here. Okay. And this type of representation, removing an edge will form the minimally connected spanning tree, that the spanning tree will call as a minimally connected, which becomes the graph is a disconnected one, and the edges what we have been deleted will become that isolated node will be formed here. And another one here is we need to consider if the adding an edge to that spanning specified spanning tree, what happens here is it creates a circuit here. For example, take this one. Not all the time it will create the isolated one. Here, if you see this notation, let me clear this one. So this is the spanning tree. I just clear that one. So this is a one graph, this is one graph notation. What happens here? Here it is being isolated. These two are described as a disconnected graphs here. That is a one example. And coming to the how we are going to draw this spanning trees here is, first we need to take a graph representation and first plot all the nodes here. First plot the nodes and then try to connect the nodes with the edges. All the edges should not be used here. So what we have to do, we need to specify the vertices are connected. That's all. By which edge it is connecting is it's not the important aspect here. Okay. So if you see this representation, so there are the 4 such nodes which are using, it's a complete graph representation which are using 6 edges here. Okay. So here we need to plot the vertices here and try to use the edges which are present. So if since it is a complete graph, we can use as many as edges to the prop, but it not should be a cyclic one. So here I am using this edge and this edge. Okay. And then this one. Okay. These are the edges which are we took from this graph. Since it is a subset of this G1, then it is a spanning tree. Means we should not add the edges as we like. The edges should be from the graph only. And coming to the next one, next diagrammatical representation, which is we are taking these 2 nodes. So these 2 edges along with this edge. So these 3 edges are with this one. So then it is another spanning tree. And now we are taking these 3 here. Okay. And there are possible spanning trees also. So we can draw a line from here to here. Okay. And here to here. And then we can use this path. And there is no. So this is also one path which has been considered as a creating for the spanning tree. So these all are possible spanning trees, and which are subset of the given graph. Subset means here the vertex what we are using, the spanning trees vertex what we are using should be equivalent to the graph 1 vertex. So what are the properties it has to satisfy? The vertices what we are taking here, the G1 vertex should be equivalent to G1 vertex should be equivalent to vertices of spanning tree. Okay, and coming to the edges, it should not be equivalent. Then what the property we need to do here? The edges of spanning tree should be subset of G1. Means whatever the edges we are using will belongs to G1. And what is another condition here? It should not be equivalent. If it is equivalent, what happens here? It forms a cyclic form. So loop or the circuit will be formed and it won't be considered as a spanning tree. Okay. So here, while drawing a spanning tree, we need to cover all the vertices, but there is no need to cover all the edges. We need to include the edges which are used for connecting those vertices in a non-cyclic format. Okay. So that's a one example. And how we are representing this one is we can use this DFS and the BFS method to create the spanning tree here. So here the DFS used, we need to, if the what is the representation we have to take these depth wise, the data has to be taken. Means we need to go for the child and it is having any unvisited adjacency nodes, and we need to visit that one, and another like that we need to go for processing. So then the spanning tree which has been formed by using DFS, it is called as a depth first spanning tree. In the BFS, what we are doing, we need to take the vertices which are being as a level by level. Try to read the values level by level. Means we need to take only the first level to be read at the first time, and then second level, third level, fourth level. Like that we need to process. And every element what we are using, that is every vertex what we are using, should be represented in this both tree representations, and it should not form any, or they should not create any cycle here. Here we took the example which is having the 8 such nodes which are having structure like this. If we are having the DFS spanning here is, first we need to go for the root node, and what are the children, what are the adjacency unvisited nodes here? Adjacency unvisited nodes are, so visited 0. Okay. Now what are the adjacency nodes here? It is having the adjacency nodes, that is 1, 2. We will visit 1. What is the adjacent of 1? It is having 3, 4. We will visit 3. Okay. What is the adjacent of 3? It is having the child, that is 7, which is the unvisited one. Visit 7. What is the adjacency of 7 here? 3 is a visited one. We won't consider it as, we need to take the unvisited only. 4, 5, 6. We need to visit 4. What is the adjacent of 4? Unvisited. only consider unvisited. Since all are visited, no edges, sorry, no vertices left. Okay. Next, coming to the third one. Here, what we will do, we will backtrack to that previous node. What is the previous node here? 7. Okay. Next one. Any unvisited nodes are there? As it is having unvisited nodes, which is 5, visit 5. Okay. Visit 5. After that, adjacency of 5. Adjacence of 5 is 2, which is a unvisited one. Visit 2. Adjacence of 2 is, which is an unvisited one, 6. Visit 6. Any other or there? So no vertices left. So stop here the processing. Okay. So first, from where we are starting, here we need to start from 0. Mark it as a visited. Okay. What are the unvisited nodes of that one? 1, 2. Okay. Next one, visit 1. Any unvisited nodes are there? As it is there, 3, 4. Visit 3. Unvisited nodes, visit 7. After that, any unvisited nodes are there at this 7? As we are having 3, 4, 5, 6. So here we will go for the 4. Any unvisited nodes are there means no nodes are there. What we will do? We will need to backtrack to the previous node, and as well as we know that it will be pop up from the stack also. And coming to here, what we are doing, we are taking the another nodes here. Another nodes here is a 5 and 6. Let us consider the node is a 5. Okay. And it is having any adjacency nodes here is, yes, it is having the adjacency nodes, which is 2. 2 is having adjacency node, which is a 6 here. So why didn't consider this node? This one here is, if you are considering this one, what happens here is it is been taken into as a, which is considered as a tree. No, the edge will be formed as a cycle here. And coming to the next one, which is BFS, that is a breadth first search. So here, what we need to do, we need to take these level from left to right. We need to visit all these presentations level by level. We need to reach. So at this level, we have any adjacency list or not, we need to take. If you are having any adjacency list, what you are doing, we need to, sorry, adjacency nodes are there. We need to cover all these nodes at this level, and we need to go for the another level. This is look like a tree structure, and this is also having the tree structure if you are not considering this edge, which is a specified one. Okay. So that is a one example representation which is using DFS and the BFS representation. And what are the means the another representation how we are considering while using these weighted graph notation here is to reach, means we are having here, we are having many spanning trees here. Which spanning tree is used to reach all the vertices, to traverse all the vertices? How far we will know is, we can use this a technique or the topic called minimum cost spanning tree, or the simply minimum spanning tree. So this is a directed, and also we will have a undirected representation. So, and it has a weighted graph, which are the non-negative value here. So in this one, likewise the previous examples, we will draw the spanning trees, and we need to take the cost of each and every spanning tree, which is having the minimum cost. We will declare it as a the spanning tree which is used for traverse all the nodes, all the vertices using this set of edges here. So here, what we have to do, we have to take this minimum weight which is being caused by spanning, means traversing all the vertices of the graph. And what happens here, it will allow you to know the distance which is the less one. And we also know that when the networking also, the traffic load will be known, that one, and the any congestion will be there, it also will be known here by applying this minimum cost spanning tree on the graph here. So what are the algorithms we are using to implement this spanning tree, minimum spanning tree here is the Kruskals and the Prince. These two algorithms, what we are representing, is being considered as a greedy algorithm, because it will allow you to take at each and every attempt, or each and every step, it will allow you to take only the optimal way of solutions, optimal way of finding the solutions to solve our problem, means which is the best one, will be taken as a solution here, means not for the complete program. At each and every step, we will take the best solution to solve our problem, not for the overall problem. Means while processing this one, we need to consider the optimal value for the optimal way to solve our problem. So these are the two algorithms, Kruskals and the Prince, have been supported for this using this minimum spanning tree. And coming to the examples here, so we can use the directed and the undirected graph. Directed graph means if you have the edge to that one, outcoming, that is the outlink is there to that vertex, you will use that one. If not, you won't use that path here. So here, try to draw the spanning trees for that one. So how many spanning trees will we draw? Means many will be there. So since we will use one by one representation here, first consider what are the paths we are taking and which has been considered as a connecting for all one. So for example, if I am taking only these three, if we am taking these three, it is connected to this vertex, and then this vertex, and then this vertex. So what is the weight here? So weight here is the cost, or the how we are representing is add all these things, 4 plus 1 plus 3, which is equivalent to 8. Okay, 4 plus 3 plus 1, 4 plus 3 plus 1 equal to 8. And then consider another path. This one, and then this one. Okay, means here 4, 5, 2. 4 plus 5 plus 2, which is equal to 11. Okay, next one. Consider 5, these 3 links. So while considering these 3 links, we are having the values, that is 5 plus 3 plus 2, which is equivalent to 10. And consider this one. This one is having, means which edges, these 3 edges. 4, 1 and 2. So the total is 4 plus 1 plus 2, which is equals to 7. So what is the minimum cost here? So here, these are the final one. Means if you are allowed to take any other edge also, what happens here? It is forming a cycle here. So here in this example, we are having the minimum edge is minimum cost spanning tree is 7, which is this one. So when we are using these 3 edges, we will traverse with the distance of 7, and it is a minimum when compared with the others. So that is a one example. And coming to the next example, if you see, it is a graph which consists of the 6 nodes, and it is having as much as elements, there is a vertices here. So we need to choose how many paths will be should be there. So how many minimum spanning trees, how many spanning trees will be drawn means there are many, because there are as many edges are there, but we won't consider all the edges to be processed here. So the first one here is, which is the cost of 23. Let us see, it uses the edges and the weights represented as a node. So it is there, it is a subset of that one, and it is also the subset of one, and this one, and we can use more than that one. So how many edges are there? 5 edges are there. How many vertices are there? 6. So the minimum edges will be the, means what are the edges we are using here is, it is a vertices minus 1. So what is the cost of this spanning tree is add all the edges weights here. So that is the first one. And coming to the next representation, this one, which is using these edges to connect all this one, which is a 21. And the other one here is this one presentation, and the final cost here is 15. So if you are using as many as a vertices and as many as wedges for representation, it will be some crucial to draw the spanning tree also. And coming to this one, here in this example, we are using a graph which is having 6 vertices, and this is the minimum spanning tree representation. If you are using this path 1, 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6, what happens here is it provides 15, and then 16, 19. 19 is the cost while using this path. Means if you are using these, if not, if you are using 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8, the weights are high. What happens here? The cost will be high also. So try to use the minimum cost or the minimum weighted edges here. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 will be present. So which having the cost here is the 18, and it is used as a minimum distance to travel. So minimum cost means while considering, means when you are traveling to the one place to another place, look after the minimum distance to cover, because to save the time. Okay. So here basic examples here, when we are using the traffic, or when we are considering in the network oriented one, and when you are looking about the map also, means to reach a destination, what it suggests the minimum distance here. How we are going to get it, this a minimum distance here is we need to write the edges here, and the span tree has to be taken. These edges what we are representing has to be taken as a minimum value should be taken. So since it is representing as a maximum value 678 when compared with the remaining 5, so we can't take these values, because when we are adding these to that edges, we are getting the highest value for the processing. There is one example, another example for representation of these minimum cost spanning tree. So that's about today's class, ma. In this class, we have seen the spanning tree, how we are representing the spanning tree. The properties means it should be a subset of the graph, and it consists of all the vertices, not all the edges. Means the subset of the edges should be there. The tree means the graph what we are using, which doesn't forms a cycle notation, will be considered as a spanning tree. So what are the two algorithms we are having here? Two algorithms are the Prim's and Kruskals. Okay. And the advantage means the concept what we have discussed, another one here is the minimum cost spanning tree. So here, by using the spanning tree concept, we are using a weighted graph representation to know the distance. Low means the minimum distance to travel, or the minimum distance to traverse all the vertices here. And what are the applications of these spanning tree here is, we can know the traffic control, and we are used in the network based one, and we can use this map while traversing. All these things is considered as an example for the processing. Okay. And tomorrow's class we will see the algorithms of these minimum cost spanning tree, which is the Kruskals and the Prim's. Thank you, ma.